Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Eduard. So this is a kit in 1/48 scale, and we have here a so-called weekend edition. So it's a kit which copies A6M3 0 type 32 in 1/48 scale. It should be quite an interesting build for modelers who did not manage to buy the profit pack. I'm laughing because we already reviewed plenty of various editions of this plastic, and now we get it as a weekend edition kit, and the kit number is 84191. You can see it also in the video name. So we have here, I would say, quite a typical box for a weekend edition from Eduard. So here is comparison with my hand. We have also beautiful box art. Maybe it's also available as a separate poster. I recommend to check it when you will be getting this kit. And also here on the side we have some information about the kit, about the manufacturer, while on the opposite side we will find unusual number of marking options. So here we have 5 marking options, which is really cool, and I guess all of them are worth checking out when we will be looking through the instructions. So that's the top opening box, and inside we have all of the frames packed into separate plastic bags. So we will start with a clear frame, and then gradually we will move on to other components as well. So just give me a second. It should be easy to open the first bag because it's a Ziploc bag. And here we have this. So let's zoom in. And now you can see that here we have various canopy parts. Of course, we can copy the open canopy with those parts, and the overall molding quality looks really great. But for proper paint work, I would recommend to get this. This is the set which will be sold separately. It's a mask set. They are pre-cut. We will check them in the separate video review, but in my opinion, it's a must-have, especially with such complex shape of the canopy, just like here on this zero. Next we continue with another plastic bag which carries all gray plastic sprues. So just give me a moment, I will open it and we will take a closer look together. So let's start with the sprue which is dedicated to wing parts. It's a sprue M as far as you can see. So here we have, I would say, somewhat standard parts division for wing parts on the aircraft kit. It means that we have the separate ailerons, flaps are pre-molded, and in case you would like to have the dropped flaps on your aircraft, you have to get the separate PE set from Eduard. And we also have quite nice external features. It's a recessed panel lines and rivets, so it's just a matter of not erasing them or destroying them during assembly and you will be good to go. Inside we have also some guiding elements, so do not worry, even though these parts, as you can see, quite large, they still have some design which will help you with assembly and will make it faster probably as well. Next we continue with another plastic sprue. It's a sprue D. Here we have mix of parts because we have various cockpit elements as well as the engine parts. So again, really nice molding quality, and I was saying it in the original release that even the standard plastic offers a lot of features. They are pre-molded and they look really great, so it's just a matter of deciding whether you are fine with this or you are not. And in case you are not, then you can also get the separately sold PE set. So here you can see that set FE1375. We will review it later in the separate video, but this thing will actually get you all of the necessary features, and in 1/48 scale, in my opinion, it will be quite a noticeable upgrade, so definitely consider it. But if you get the masks and PE purchased separately, it is basically the profit pack, so then think twice whether you are better off getting the weekend, or maybe you would rather get the profit pack. Next we continue with another plastic sprue. So here we have again some cockpit parts, propeller, fuel tank, more parts or more types of the propeller hub. Also here we have another cowling element, separate rudder, and if I flip it over here you can check those parts from the opposite side. Everything is molded nicely, and it is actually a good example of what you can achieve with the modern molding technologies, because now I would say what Eduard does with their own molding machines and their own design, own production, it's really amazing and impressive in my opinion, and for 1/48 scale they pack a lot of features out of the box. So here we have the last gray plastic sprue. And this one is dedicated to the fuselage halves, which are molded together with the tail fin. The cowling should be assembled out of separate parts. And also here we have the tail wings, which are glued out of two halves as well. If I flip it over, you can see that there are not that many features in the cockpit area, but that's because the cockpit walls, the cockpit structure, let's say, it is molded separately and it will have to be glued inside. Next, I'm opening one more plastic bag. So here we have the decals. Of course, decals are printed in Eduard, so you shouldn't be worried about any printing quality issues because they are usually quite nice. And by the way, they also order the... well, they have different order of application, so you can use them just like the classic decals, then you apply them with the so-called carrier film, and then they are okay. I would say they look convincing on the final result, but there is also an option for brave enough modelers who are ready to remove this film, because then you have a really big chance to damage these decals, but it takes a bit of time to get used to how to properly remove this film. But the final result looks even more impressive because it basically looks like a painted over surface, so definitely consider it, check the reference material. But note that here we also had the decals for the cockpit dials and also for the seat belts, so maybe for some modelers this will be enough instead of the PE parts. And if you wonder where are the stencils, they are here on the separate decal sheet, and it's also quite nice. If I bring it closer and camera will manage to focus, you can see that those are not just random scribbles, those are actual writings, and if you know Japanese you will be able to read it. Next we continue with the assembly manual. So here we have a typical Eduard brochure, I would say. So as you can see, it's a large format, color printed. We have also the short history note here. Next, we continue with the parts map. So blue color means that these parts will not be used in the assembly process, and whole assembly starts with the cockpit walls. Next, we have the cockpit being added with the rear bulkhead and pilot seat, cockpit floor here, then we install the cockpit walls. We also have some options for the markings, so pay attention to this. And here as well, as you can see, so you have to do some minor modifications in case you would like to copy the precise type of your marking. Next we continue with the wing assembly, then we assemble the tail wings, and next we also should do some engraving in case you choose 3 markings, as you can see, A, C, D. Next we have here the engine assembly, and we assemble the cowling here. Next we install the cowling onto the engine. By the way, there is also separate bracing set for the engine as far as I remember. Landing gear goes in place here, then we continue with the propeller and fuel tank. Next here we have the canopy and the first marking option from August 1942. Next we continue with the January 1943, another one July 1943, and one more August 1943, and here we have October 1943, and here is the last page dedicated to the stenciling guide. In case you would like to see the full list of the accessories, I recommend to check the Eduard official webpage, where you can basically order this kit together with the add-ons. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion, so write it here in the comment section below. And do not forget to press the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because it will help us greatly and it will support us a bit. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.